The desert stretched endlessly before Kale, the air thick with heat and despair. His village had been cursed, a sickness spreading like shadow, leaving fields barren and people hollow-eyed. The elders' whispers of hope had led him here, chasing the faintest rumor of a market that appeared only to the truly desperate. As he collapsed from exhaustion, the wind carried the sound of laughter, faint but real. Kale lifted his head to see tents of every color rising from the sand like a mirage. The Wandering Bazaar had found him. Inside, the market was alive with chaos and wonder. Merchants peddled goods unlike anything Kale had ever seen, candles that burned with moonlight, fabrics woven from clouds, and books that whispered their stories aloud. The air smelled of spices and magic, and languages from countless lands melded into a melody of voices. Kale approached a stall where a woman with silver eyes offered him a vial of golden liquid. "For your village," she said, but when Kale reached for it, she shook her head. "Not so simple. Every cure has a price." She pointed to a riddle etched into the wood of her stall. Solving it unlocked the vial, but it also unlocked something within Kale, a willingness to confront his fears. Each stall was a trial, disguised as a transaction. A merchant in a tent filled with mirrors forced Kale to face his own reflection, asking, "What lies do you tell yourself?" A sculptor who crafted figures from sand demanded that Kale create something representing his greatest regret, and then destroy it. With every challenge, Kale felt the weight of his desperation shift into something more resolute. The market moved as he stayed with it, disappearing from deserts and reappearing on cliffsides, in dense forests, even atop a frozen lake. Kale learned to adapt, his understanding of the world deepening with every new culture and every test of his character. But the market was not safe. Whispers of a shadowy force seeking to claim its power grew louder. One night, Kale stumbled upon a group of cloaked figures trying to steal a relic from the heart of the bazaar, a golden thread that wove together all the stalls. The thread, he realized, was the bazaar's lifeline, a symbol of the unity and balance it brought to the world. Confronting the intruders, Kale was given a choice: protect the market and risk losing the cure for his village, or secure the cure and let the bazaar fall. The weight of the decision crushed him, but he remembered the trials he had endured. The market had taught him that sacrifices were the foundation of true strength. Kale fought to protect the bazaar, unraveling the plans of its enemies and securing its future. In return, the market gave him a single seed, small, unassuming, but filled with potential. "Plant this in your village," the silver-eyed woman said. "It will grow into what your people need most." When Kale returned home and planted the seed, it sprouted into a tree bearing fruit that healed the sick and restored the land. The village thrived again, but Kale knew his journey was far from over. He had become a part of the Wandering Bazaar story, and it, in turn, had become a part of him. The market would call on him again, and when it did, he would be ready.